week 16. Can you believe we're already that far into the year? So this week, we're gonna get started learning about timeline. We're gonna learn about area of a rectangle this week. We're gonna start learning a little bit about the United States and World War I. We're gonna continue in geography, looking at different bays in the United States. In science, we're gonna start memorizing the first 4 elements. In English, we're gonna work on the infinitive to go. And in Latin, we're going to continue working on memorizing John 1:3. So I hope you're ready for some fun this week, and let's get started. Okay, this week in Timeline, we're talking about the age of industry. And if you've listened to the song, it kind of sounds like a train because the trains were used to spark industry across the country. So when you're thinking and hearing this song while I'm showing you the cards and we're reviewing it, I want you to think of different ways that can help you remember. Maybe age of industry sounds like a train. That's what this card is, age of industry. The next one is James Cook sails from Australia to Antarctica. So that makes me think of sailing. So you could think of a little boat. If you have a boat at home, you could get that and play with it. The next one is American Revolution and General George Washington. That makes me kind of think of an American flag, just kind of patriotic. The next one is Madison's Constitution and the Bill of Rights. So that would be a really old paper or something. That might be something you could create this week. The French Revolution, the Second Great Awakening, and Louisiana Purchase and Lewis and Clark Expedition. They were explorers that went all across the United States. So you could dress up like an explorer while we did this. So let me get my cards back in order, and we're going to listen to this song. And while I'm playing it, I want you to think of some motions or something that might help you remember, okay? Gotta get it ready. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. 1760 to 1765.
James Cook sails to Australia and Antarctica. American Revolution and
General George Washington. Madison's Constitution and the Bill of Rights. French Revolution, Second Great Awakening.
Louisiana Purchase and Lewis and Clark Expedition.
I got a little behind there, didn't I? Let's try that again. Age of industry, circa 1760 to circa 1969. James Cook sails to Australia and Antarctica. Goodness gracious. American Revolution and General George Washington. Madison's Constitution and the Bill of Rights. French Revolution, Second Great Awakening. Are y'all so glad to hear me singing again? Louisiana Purchase and Lewis and Clark Expedition. All right, let's do it again with the words. And I'm going to kind of show you when I'm just listening to it at home, what I think about when I hear this song, okay? So you do it along with me.
Timeline, timeline, this is my timeline.
Age of industry, 1760 to 1969.
James Cook sails to Australia
And Antarctica. American Revolution and General George Washington. Madison's Constitution and the Bill of Rights. French Revolution, Second Great Awakening. Louisiana Purchase and Lewis and Clark Expedition. I just imagine them looking for it. Okay, so let's do it one more time. Age of industry. James Cook sails from Australia to Antarctica. American Revolution and General George Washington, Madison's Constitution and the Bill of Rights, French Revolution, the Second Great Awakening, and the Louisiana Purchase and Lewis and Clark's Expedition. What you think? All right, I want you to go practice that again. And this week, let's see what my challenge is. While you're listening to the song, last week, I think we were hopping around like a bunny. This week, I want you to dress up and pretend you are Lewis and Clark on one of their expeditions. And I want you to imagine looking around at all the different things that we sing about in our timeline song this week. That might be a fun way to practice the song. Or if you're like me, you could play it while you're having to clean your room or taking a rest time. That's another good time to listen to the song over and over again. So remember how important it is to listen to the song. All right, coming up next is math. Okay, this week in math, we're talking about area of a rectangle. Now, you can see that I'm holding a piece of paper and it's a rectangle. We have 2 long sides and 2 short sides. So if we want to find the area, the amount of space this rectangle takes up, we're going to do length times width. So that seems pretty simple, but in case we need a fun way to remember, we're going to learn a little song. It goes like this. Area of a rectangle is length times width. Huh. Length times width. Huh. The area of a rectangle is length times width. Huh. Is length times width. Huh. The area of a rectangle is length times width. Huh. Is length times width. Huh. The area of a rectangle is length times width. Is length times width. The area of a rectangle is length times width. Is length times width. The area of a rectangle is length times width. Is length times width. Okay, guys, this week in history, our sentence asks us, tell me about the United States in World War I. In 1917, President Wilson asked Congress to enter World War I against the Central Powers 2 years after German U-boats sank the Lusitania, killing American citizens. Now, I personally think that even just reading that sentence is super sad because when I think of 1917, that's not too long ago. That would have been like my great-grandparents, maybe your great-great-grandparents. And it also is about killing American citizens. So in response to that, this song is very slow and sad. So we're just going to do a couple of things to have signs to go with it, and then we're going to sing it a few times. So the first thing is World War I. So we're going to do 2 W's, 1, against the Central Powers 2 years after German U-boats. So we're just going to make little boats. That's what we kind of do for every time. Sank the Lusitania, killing American citizens.
Week 16. Tell me about the United States in World War I. In 1917, President Wilson asked Congress to enter World War I against the Central Powers 2 years after German U-boats sank the Lusitania, killing American citizens.
All right, here we go.
In 1917, President Wilson asked Congress to enter World War I against the Central Powers 2 years after German U-boats sank the Lusitania, killing American citizens.
One more time, here we go.
In 1917, President Wilson asked Congress to enter World War I against the Central Powers 2 years after German U-boats sank the Lusitania, killing American citizens.
Okay, this week, instead of listening to the song a couple more times, I'm going to ask you to sit with mom or dad or someone and read over that. Some ideas to go over the song to help you remember it. You can practice the song, or you can write out the sentence and then cover up different words and see if you can remember them when you read through the sentence. That would be another way you can practice at home. All right, I'll see you in a minute for the next one. Okay, this week in geography, we're talking about different bays that are found in the United States. Our song this week goes to One Little, Two Little, Three Little Indians. So Miss Megan is going to use a feather to make us think of Indians while we sing the song. So the 5 bays that you can find in the United States are the Chesapeake Bay, the Hudson Bay, San Francisco Bay, Puget Sound, and Pamlico Sound. So the song goes like this. Chesapeake Bay, Hudson Bay, San Francisco Bay, Puget Sound, Pamlico Sound. These are the bays in the United States. All right, let's do it again. Chesapeake Bay, Hudson Bay, San Francisco Bay, Puget Sound, Pamlico Sound. These are the bays in the United States. One more time. Chesapeake Bay, Hudson Bay, San Francisco Bay, Puget Sound, Pamlico Sound. These are the bays in the United States. And just a fun little fact before we practice again. Over here, the Chesapeake Bay, Miss Megan has actually sailed in a sailboat in the Chesapeake Bay. I have an uncle that had a sailboat, and we went sailing when I was little. So let's do one more time. Chesapeake Bay, Hudson Bay, San Francisco Bay, Puget Sound, Pamlico Sound. These are the bays in the United States. Okay, this week in science, we're going to be talking about 4 elements. Our question for science says, what are the first 4 elements in the periodic table by number, element, symbol, and mass? So if you remember, we talked about this last week. This is our periodic table, and it's asking us about the first 4. So the first one is hydrogen. The second one is helium. It's way over here. And then we have lithium and beryllium. But it's asking us to be able to tell them based on number, element, symbol, and mass. Okay, so the first 4 elements, our first one we have is hydrogen. And I have these cute little cards. So hydrogen is the name. And then we have 1 is the number. And even though it's got a 0.008, we're going to say that this is the mass as well. And then actually, the symbol is an H. So for the first one, hydrogen, the name is hydrogen. The symbol is just an H. And the number is 1. And the mass is 1. And you can see it's really 0.0008, but that's rounded to 1. Okay? The next one we have is helium. Helium is what you would find in balloons. Now, helium's symbol is He. Its number is 2, and its mass, look down here, is actually 4. Now, it's a decimal 2, 0.003, but that's so small, we can round it to 4. So helium is the name. The symbol is He. The number is 2, and the mass is 4. Number 3 is lithium. Those are used in batteries. So we have lithium. The symbol is Li. The number is 3. And the mass is 6.941. Now, if you look, learning, where's our science paper? Oh, I think it's over here. On our paper, it says it's rounded to 7. So is this wrong? That 6.941, that says it's 6. But this paper for CC says 7. Is that wrong? No, it's still right because most of you know how to round. So that 6.941 rounds to 7. So all you need to remember is that the mass is about 7. So let's try that again. Lithium, the symbol is Li, the number is 3, and the mass is 7. And then our last one for this week is beryllium. Beryllium. The symbol is Be, the number is 4, and the mass is 9.012. So the mass that you need to remember is 9. Okay? Now, I'm going to hold all of these up, and we're going to do them together. What are the first 4 elements in the periodic table by number, element, symbol, and mass? Hydrogen, H, 1 and 1. Helium, He, the number is 2, and the mass is 4. Lithium, the symbol is Li, the number is 3, and the mass is 7. And then we have beryllium. Whoops! The symbol is Be, the number is 4, and the mass is 9. And of course, you know Miss Megan couldn't finish up science without a song. So this actually goes along to all the parts of science songs we've been doing. So here it goes. What are the first 4 elements in the periodic table by number, element, symbol, and mass? 1, hydrogen, 1. 2, helium, 4. 3, lithium, 7. And 4, beryllium, 9. What are the first 4 elements in the periodic table by number, element, symbol, and mass? 1, hydrogen, 1. 2, helium, 4. 3, lithium, 7. And 4, beryllium, 9. You think you got it? Okay, let's try it one more time. What are the first 4 elements in the periodic table by number, element, symbol, and math? Here we go. 1, hydrogen, 1. 2, helium, 4. 3, lithium, 7. And 4, beryllium, 9. 1, hydrogen, 1. 2, helium, 4. 3, lithium, 7. And 4, beryllium, 9. Great job, guys. Okay, this week in English, our verb is to go. So we're going to do our same thing we've been doing. The infinitive is to go, go or goes, went, going, gone. So let's try that again. To go, go or goes, went, going, gone. So let's see if we can practice to make this a little more fun. To go, going, went, going, gone. My little cow is gone. Okay, let's do another one. One that I maybe can free up my hands. Who have I got today? Oh, Mr. Tiger. Okay. Going, go or goes. The tiger goes in the jungle. Went. The tiger went across the plains. Next, going. The tiger is going to get some dinner. And the last one, oh goodness, gone. The tiger looked around and all the animals were gone. One more time. Let's see. What have we got today? Oh, I don't think I've used this one. He's pretty cute. Hello, puppy. Say hey, puppy. Okay, let's talk about the puppy. To go, go or goes. the puppy goes outside to run. Went. Is that right? It is. Went. The puppy went around the house sniffing for food. Okay, what's next? Oh, I think that's going. Be careful. The puppy's going to make you fall in love with him. And the last one, gone. The puppy is gone, and I was so sad. I looked for her all night. Bye, little puppy. Okay, this week in Latin, we're already on John 1:3. So let's talk about our words. We have let's start over. Et sine ipso factum est nihil. You say it with me. You ready? Et sine ipso factum est nihil. It's important that we say this over and over again because Latin is probably not what any of us grew up learning. So the more we say it, the more we get used to it. Et sine ipso factum est nihil. And without him was made nothing. And without him was made nothing. Now we have a second part this week. Quod factum est. Quod factum est. That was made. Okay, I'm going to say it, and then I want you to say it, okay? Et sine ipso factum est nihil. Your turn. Great job. I really can't hear you, but I know that you're practicing at home. And what does that mean? And without him was made nothing. Now your turn. Great job again. Okay, now let's do the other one. Quod factum est. Oh, I forgot. Your turn. Next time, yell at me, okay? Quod factum est. Your turn. That was made. Your turn again. Let me hear you. Okay, let's try this one again. Quod factum est. That was made. Now, let's put them together. We're going to do both cards at once. Ready? We're going to read it all together. Et sine ipso factum est nihil, quod factum est. And without him was made nothing, that was made. Great job. Okay, I'm going to tell you one thing that you or somebody at home can maybe download. You can find this song that goes to John 1 on a recording either on iTunes or YouTube, and it's the whole song. I like to play it at home a lot or maybe in the car so you can remember. All right, see you guys in a minute. Well, guys, that wraps up week 16. Let's go over again what we talked about this week. In timeline, remember we started off with the age of industry. James Cook sails from Australia to Antarctica. The American Revolution and General George Washington. Madison's Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Then we had the French Revolution, the Second Great Awakening, Louisiana Purchase, and Lewis and Clark Expedition. I would love to see some pictures of you guys when y'all were acting like Lewis and Clark. The next one, I don't know about you, but this was fun. Area of a rectangle is length times width. Whoop is length times width. Whoop. Okay. The next one we talked about in history was tell me about the United States in World War I. In 1917, President Wilson asked Congress to enter World War I. World War I against the Central Powers 2 years after German U-boats sank the Lusitania, killing American citizens. Then we talked about the bays that you can find in the United States. And remember, that was to the tune of the Little Indians. And it was Chesapeake Bay, Hudson Bay, San Francisco Bay, Puget Sound, Pamlico Sound. These are the bays in the United States. Miss Megan gets tongue-tied sometimes. Okay, then we talked about the first 4 elements in the periodic table. 1, hydrogen. 1. 2, helium. 4. 3, lithium. 7. And 4, beryllium. 9. Okay, then we talked about the verb to go. We had our animals help us out. To go, go or goes, went, going, gone. And then our last one for Latin was et sine ipso, factum est nihil, and without him was made nothing, quod factum est, that was made. Guys, I'm just so enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying these videos too at home. For whatever reason you weren't at community, we miss you and we love you and we can't wait to see you. Just know that you are loved and you are prayed for, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.